Zeus, Athena, Poseidon, they're immortal. They're all powerful. They can throw lightning, control the ocean, and literally turn into animals whenever they feel like it. So, why? Did they keep making the dumbest decisions in the history of decisions? Today, we're ranking the 10 worst mistakes ever made by the Greek gods, from mildly embarrassing to accidentally caused a war. Because it turns out the gods of Olympus weren't wise. They were just petty humans with superpowers. Let's rank them. Number 10, Ares and Aphrodite get caught in a net. We're starting light. Ares, the god of war, was having a secret affair with Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Problem: Aphrodite was already married to Hephaestus, the god of blacksmithing. So Hephaestus does what any petty genius would do. He builds an invisible bronze net, rigs it above the bed, and waits. The next time Ares and Aphrodite show up, the net drops. Trapped, naked, exposed. Then Hephaestus invites every single god on Olympus to come laugh at them. Mistake ranking: low stakes, maximum humiliation. Nobody died. But nobody will ever let Ares live this down either. Number 9. Poseidon loses Athens and floods it out of spite. Poseidon and Athena both wanted to be the patron god of one city, the city that would become Athens. So they had a contest. Poseidon struck the ground with his trident and created a spring of water. Impressive. Except the water was salty. Completely undrinkable. Athena's turn. She planted an olive tree, food, oil, wood. Actually useful. The people chose Athena, obviously. Poseidon's reaction to losing? He flooded the entire region out of pure rage. A god. Losing a gardening contest. And responding with a natural disaster. Incredible sportsmanship. Number 8. Hades kidnaps Persephone without asking anyone. Hades sees Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, goddess of the harvest. He decides he wants her. So he doesn't ask her, he doesn't ask her mother, he just opens a crack in the earth and drags her straight down to the underworld. Demeter is obviously devastated. She's so devastated that she stops doing her job entirely. And her job is making crops grow, which means the entire world starts starving. Zeus eventually has to step in and negotiate a custody arrangement between the underworld and a grieving mother. The result becomes the literal origin of winter. One impulsive kidnapping, global famine, every single year, forever. Number 7, Hera's jealousy destroys Heracles' family. Heracles wasn't even the problem here. Heracles was Zeus's son from an affair, which, as we'll see, happens constantly. Hera, Zeus's wife, hated Heracles for existing, so out of pure jealousy, she cursed him with a fit of temporary madness. While cursed, Heracles didn't recognize his own wife and children, and in that madness, he killed them. When the curse lifted, and he realized what he'd done, he was ordered to complete 12 impossible labors as penance. The famous 12 labors of Heracles. Lion killing, Hydra fighting, underworld guard dog wrestling. All exist because one goddess couldn't handle her husband's infidelity like an adult. Number 6. Zeus turns into a swan. Zeus wants to seduce a woman named Leda. His method? Turn into a giant swan and approach her by the river. Yes, a swan. The king of all gods, ruler of the sky, decided the most romantic move available to him was becoming a bird. The union results in Helen, who grows up to become Helen of Troy. The literal face that later launches 1,000 ships, the Trojan War, 10 years of siege, countless deaths, all traceable back to one weird swan decision. Number 5, Zeus and the unbreakable promise. Zeus was seeing a mortal woman named Semele. Hera, furious as always, tricks Semele into asking Zeus to prove he's really a god by appearing to her in his full divine form. Zeus had already sworn an oath on the river Styx to grant her one wish, an oath even the king of gods cannot break. So he has to say yes. The problem: no mortal can survive looking at a god's true form. Semele is instantly incinerated. Zeus's mistake wasn't the affair. It was making an unbreakable promise without reading the fine print. Number 4. Athena punishes the wrong person. This one is the darkest entry on the list. Medusa was a mortal woman, a priestess in Athena's own temple. Poseidon assaulted her there. Athena's response: she didn't punish Poseidon, she punished Medusa, turning her hair into snakes and her gaze into a weapon that turns anyone who looks at her to stone. The goddess of wisdom and justice looked directly at who was actually responsible, and chose to curse the victim instead. Perseus later kills Medusa for a hero's quest, completing the tragedy. Of everything on this list, this is the one that hasn't aged well at all. Number 3. Zeus creates Pandora as a punishment. Prometheus steals fire from the gods and gives it to humanity. Zeus is furious, not really at humans, but he decides to punish them anyway. His plan? Create the first woman, Pandora, gift her a sealed box, and send her down to Earth. He knows curiosity will eventually make her open it. She does, and every evil imaginable, disease, suffering, war, death, pours out into the world for the first time. The only thing left inside afterward is hope. Zeus didn't just make a mistake. He built a trap specifically designed to backfire on an entire species forever. Number 2, honorable mention, the brothers who never stop fighting. Quick pause before our number 1. Almost every war between the gods, the Titanomachy, endless disputes between Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades over territory, traces back to one thing: none of them can share power without threatening to destroy the world first. Immortal, all-powerful, still can't split 3 kingdoms without a 10-year war. Keep that in mind for the finale. Number 1, Cronos eats his own children. The worst mistake in Greek mythology. Cronos, king of the Titans, hears a prophecy. One of his own children will overthrow him. His solution? Eat every single one of his children the moment they're born. Not banish them, not imprison them, swallow them whole. His wife Rhea eventually gets tired of watching her children get eaten, and hides the last one, a baby named Zeus, replacing him with a rock wrapped in a blanket. Cronos eats the rock, doesn't notice. Zeus grows up in secret, comes back years later, frees his siblings from inside his father's stomach, and overthrows him exactly as the prophecy said. The mistake wasn't losing the war. The mistake was that trying so hard to avoid the prophecy is the exact thing that caused it. If Cronos had done nothing, maybe none of this happens. Instead, he panicked, ate his kids, and guaranteed his own downfall. So here's the pattern. Every single epic tragedy in Greek mythology started with a god making an incredibly human mistake. Jealousy, pride, impulse, fear. They had lightning bolts and immortality. And they still acted like your worst ex. Which is honestly the reason this mythology has survived 3,000 years. The gods weren't perfect. They were just us, with better special effects. Which one of these do you think is the worst? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe, because next time we're ranking the 10 most brutal punishments the gods ever handed out.